because I really wanted the truck back. But now, in all honesty, I'm being 100% honest here, after seeing the truck in person after several years, I don't know if I want the truck back now. Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately, I don't have a regular video working on a truck today because two of the cars that I was supposed to be working on have gotten delayed. Checking on one more guy to see if he's still going to be able to bring it in. If not, we either, one, we'll pick back up on the OBS, or two, we're going to start on the project that I have, or that I'm going to show you right now. And if some of you have caught it on the last video, I showed y'all a glimpse of what it was. And what it is the OG Cat Eye Crew Cab, bagged and bodied, that I originally started this channel with. The truck that started this whole El Gallo build, which back then I actually named it Truckified Garage. It seemed like a good name at the time, but now we've changed it to El Gallo built. So anyways, I am actually on my way to Harbor Freight. I need to go pick up some clamps and stuff, and I figured, why not just make a video on my way down there? Should be around 20 minutes or so. So a little quick video, and then I'll show snippets of when the truck was being built up to when I ended up having to sell it. So hopefully the video comes out good, because I'm going to be driving down there. I'm going to have to be holding on to my camera right here. Hopefully it doesn't come out too shaky. But yeah, so the truck is a 2006 actually, Cat Eye Crew Cab that started off white and went through a couple of changes. And then after I had gotten it painted is when I officially started the channel with it. I think the very first video I did with it was the 4 high from, I can't remember which company it was. It's just a little relay that would sit in the fuse box to turn on the low beams, high beams, and fog lights all at the same time without any of them cutting off. So that was like the first video. Then I did a couple of videos of like me washing it. Then one of them I ended up changing the engine oil pan seal. So those were the couple of videos. And then that's when I did a walk around of the truck, and then I started explaining what I was going to focus my channel around, and pretty much show the process of what it takes to not only bag and body drop a truck. And looking back at the videos, I still can't believe, after I had only a couple of months after I had gotten it painted, that I had the courage and balls to completely tear that truck apart. I still look back at the video after I washed it and I did the walk around of it. I kick myself, and I have so many regrets of tearing that truck apart, because that truck was so clean, and on those US Mag 22s. And again, I still kick myself in the butt for tearing that thing down. But yeah, well, that's behind us now. And yeah, that's when I first started in that house that I was renting, the teardown process to begin the bag and body. I had already gotten most of the parts together, picked up I think the steel also as I was tearing it down. So I was gonna plan to tear everything down, pulled everything off, engine, interior, then ended up pulling the cab off, obviously the whole front clip, and I think afterwards I finally ended up taken the bed off, bought the steel, was about to start building the frame, and then we decided, hey, let's just buy a bigger house, because why not? So we had this, at this point, rented the house that we were in for about 6 years, and we kind of said it's probably about time. And so yeah, we made that jump after I had completely stripped that truck down to the bare frame. So halted on the progress of the truck for a couple months, and then that was one of the main things also that we were looking for in the house. One of the things was having a big enough garage to even do this. So we looked at a couple of 3-car garages. They were 3-car garage, but they were just 3-car wide, not 3-car, like a little bit deeper than a normal car would be. So I think we could have made it work, but some of the houses, man, like the garages were just way too small. So finally ended up settling on the one we have now. This, as you see, this one's like a tandem garage. They listed it as a 3-car, but you could fit 3 small cars in there. But like any mid-size SUVs or anything bigger than that, I think it's going to be a very, very tight fit if you were to fit 3 cars in there. Technically, it's just a 2-car with a storage. But anyways, back to the truck. So yeah, once we got into the new house, and I ended up starting by building a table to build a frame on, because I was going to end up building just about the whole frame. The only thing I kept was from the cab of the truck forward. I kept the stock frame from there, and then Z'd the front, and then built pretty much everything from the firewall back. And being that I worked on it with the limited tools that I did have, I was able to make it work. Yet, however, looking back at it now, obviously, I have regrets of how I did it. But I mean, it's holding. It's been holding for 5+ years, no issues. I looked up under there and still not cracked. There's no major issues that I could see. It's just a little rusty because the first owner that I sold it to never coated the frame, so it has a little bit of surface rust on it. But yes, ended up starting with the frame, built the frame, started working the major pieces, and then didn't like how I did the rear end initially, so redid that because I had just a weird kick up and then straight out back. Ended up redoing that, then narrowing it at the same time to clear the wheels, because I had it on some 26 by 9 or 10s in the front, and then 26 by 12s in the rear with 8-inch back spacing. So it's a very specific back spacing that I shortened my axle to. I ended up shortening it, I believe, like 5 3/4 inches or 5.5 inches, something like that, on each side. So ended up narrowing the differential, building the frame, then a bunch of like the cross members, then ended up fish plating that new rear end that I had built afterwards after I redid it, Z'd the front in front of the engine, and then I had to lower the front radiator support brackets to match the body drop, because the truck ended up getting, I believe, I can't remember if it was like essentially dropped it, I think 3 inches from where it was factory. So ended up doing one set of body mount brackets for the cab. Ended up sitting everything on there on the table. I should still have video. I'll put it in here, but ended up putting the cab on there, and the cab ended up still being like, I think, a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch, something like that. Like, I want to say it was a 1/4 inch still above essentially the ground. And me being me, I was not satisfied with that. So what do? I go back, cut the body mounts off, and redo them, move them back down. And this time I overdid it, so this time for sure it lays on the pinch well. And once you lower the cab onto the floor, the frame is now essentially hovering the ground by like half an inch. So I ended up lowering it, I think, an additional 3/4 of an inch from the first time. So the frame still, like I said, it's not even touching the ground. It's laying on the pinch welds. That in turn caused some issues, but it is what it is. I mean, this was my first ever build. So got the cab mounts put in, engine and transmission was in. Ended up having to cut the transmission tunnel due to the major body drop that I put on there. Then the front kit for the control arms was a chassis fab control arm kit. So that one went on pretty smoothly, no issues there. And my other issue that I ran into after I started putting the front clip on there was some tight turning before you end up getting into the fenders. But now driving it, I did drive it once already on the same spec wheels that I had on it before. Is not too terrible. It is still a little tight because it is on 26s and then a major body drop. So that in turn, again, another issue that I had to learn the hard way. But anyway, so after we did I cut out the transmission tunnel. I think afterwards I ended up starting working on the firewall. Did a major tub on the firewall, and then at that point, I think I ended up starting to mount the air management. Then set the whole body and bed on there. The bed was not fully bolted on because I didn't have any body mounts. So I just wanted to see how the whole thing looked with the wheels, the offset, the front clip on, the bed on, and I just set it on some blocks, at least the bed, just to kind of take a look and see what it was going to look like. And I think that was like the major motivator afterwards. There's a lot of little like high points in the build where I was like, okay, this is going to be good, this is going to be good, it's going to look good, this is going to work. But as soon as I set all the body parts pretty much on the truck, I think that gave me the huge spike of, okay, this is coming out a whole lot better than I imagined. So don't remember what happened afterwards after that. I mean, I think after that is when it ended up going downhill, because at this point, this is when it was getting close to COVID time. So COVID being COVID slowed down my work as at the collision shop pretty drastically. So ended up having to, after a couple months, sell the intros, and I had to downgrade it to some dub wheels. I can't remember what they were called, but they were the multi-spoke black wheels. Ended up still holding on to it for a couple more months after that, and then just work was not getting better. And then, as you guys know, family comes first. So this, I think, July or June 5th of 2020 or 2021. I think it was 21. I can't remember which exact year, but that's when I had ended up posting the truck for sale as a project. And I think at this point, when I was at the point that I needed to sell it, I still needed to do fuel lines, brake lines, wire everything up as far as like electrical. Drive shaft was already in, so that was one major hurdle that I overcame. And honestly, I think that was about it. Fuel cell, I don't know if I mentioned fuel cell I had, but needed a bunch of fittings for that. So that's what it ended up leading to. So I posted it on a June 5th, and June 7th, literally 3 days later, somebody came and picked it up and only sold it for the parts that I had into it. Mind you, I know everybody was telling me, no, you could have gotten way more than that. You could have gotten way more than that. That was ridiculously cheap for what you had into it. And essentially that's what I ended up doing. Is all I sold it was for what I had into it in parts. None of my labor was included in that. And reason being, one, I needed the money quick. Two, it's very hard to find somebody to buy a project that big in pieces, not running, and to be confident that it's going to be able to be put back together. Mind you, I did label all the harnesses and everything, and kept just about everything. Again, all that was needed left was fuel line, brake line, the assembly of the whole thing, as well as carpet. I think the carpet I had ended up throwing out, but yeah, that ended up being the last of it. Ended up selling at that time. I will lie to you if I didn't say that I didn't cry, because a lot of time and effort went into that truck to get it completed. One of the shows that I was going to debut it at ended up not making it, and I was going to end up going the next year for sure, and then that's when I ended up having to sell it due to COVID. So I think it's been 5 years since I had sold it. I did see it that following year at LST when the first owner initially put it back together, and then I think another year after that, or maybe a couple months after that, I ended up trying to buy it back. Work had gotten a lot better and saved up a little bit of money and tried to buy it back, but he did not want to sell it at that time, or at least no, I had made him an offer, but he wanted like $5,000 more over on my offer, so I didn't have that. So ended up letting it go, and then essentially lost track of it, or just not kept up with it. Every now and then I would see a post of it, but after a while I noticed that he wasn't posting. That's when I reached out and I asked him what happened, or what was the progress on it, what he's gotten done. Turns out he had ended up selling it, and I had told him, if you ever sell it, let me know. I want to buy it. Didn't let me know. Sold it to another guy who didn't have social media, I think it was, and then he ended up selling it. The second guy ended up selling it as well, and then that's when I completely lost track of it. And then I think it was maybe a year and a half, possibly 2 years later, the current owner now, Miguel, ended up reaching out to me, sent me a message, said, "Hey bro, I think I accidentally ran across your channel, and I think I might have bought your truck." And sure enough, he said he was going to go see it the next day. I sent him pictures of it, and he said, "Yeah, I think it is. I think this is the truck." And then a couple of days later, he sends me the pictures of it. Sure enough, it's my truck. And I think at that time he wanted me to fix a couple of things on it. A couple of weeks later, after he had bought it, and I can't remember what I was doing at that time, but I told him I really couldn't get to it, even though I really wanted to, but left it at that. Fast forward now 2 years later. I think it's 2 years. Yeah, so my math is all off. But yeah, fast forward till now. I initially wanted to buy it back again. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to sell it either. I made him an offer, but he's in love with the truck. I don't blame him. But yeah, I tried to buy it back because I wanted it to be able to use for promotional stuff on my channel. But that didn't end up working out. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Because I really, really wanted the truck back. But now, in all honesty, I'm being 100% honest here. After seeing the truck in person after several years, I don't know if I want the truck back now. Reason being is because after all that hard work that I was doing to get it to look good and being consistent with it, the way it was put back together, it was, I don't know, I don't want to say the word, 'cause I don't want to say get demonetized, but let's just say it was violated pretty badly. Just rushed, put together. I mean, I can't even find the words for it, but essentially, I talked it over with my wife too, after she had seen it too. And I told her, I think if I were to end up buying this truck back, I would essentially have to start all over, tear the truck apart, and redo the whole thing, the reassembly. So it kind of deterred me from buying it back now after seeing it, how it was put back together. But again, I try. Miguel still wouldn't want to let it go. So it is what it is. I mean, we still got the C10, so that'll be a project that's going to be hopefully picked up soon in a couple months. But yeah, didn't end up working out with the OG crew cab, and so yeah, now we're gonna have to wait off on that. We're going to fix a couple of things for him. It's going to be another major project, but completely going to be redone and get it looking good again. And again, now the second issue is, I think once I redo it, I'm going to fall in love with it all over again. And being that I put more work into it, he's going to want more money for it. So probably still won't be able to buy it back. But yeah, that's the video for today. The OG crew cab has come back, and we are going to be redoing the whole projects essentially for him, and making it look more decent than what it is now. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know what else to say. I'm still reminiscing on all that work that I did to it, and to see it in the condition that it is now. But it's gonna get a major overhaul. Hopefully we'll see some videos on it here soon. Again, I had three projects that were supposed to come in. One kind of backed out. Well, not really backed out, because he's getting engine work done, and that's getting delayed. I really need to get some work in. Second guy I reached out to that was in line, he doesn't have all his parts together. And then third guy, I still haven't heard back from him. See if he's gonna get his. It wasn't too big, so hopefully he can get his part soon. And if not, I might end up having to hop back on the OBS and doing the raised bed floor on that. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll have a good video for you guys next week, because this is the only thing that I have to upload, unless I do like a tour of the Cat Eye crew cab in the condition that it's in now. So I don't know, we'll see. So I guess, yeah, that's gonna cut it. I'm not gonna ramble on too much, because it's just me talking, showing clips here and there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, and we'll see here soon the return of the OG crew cab that started this whole channel. So yeah, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I will see you guys next video, hopefully next Sunday or Saturday, now that I'm moving the dates. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. All right, bye.